Welcome back, everyone. We often blame politicians pointing the finger towards Republicans and Democrats of why we can't come together and make a change. But when it comes to Social Security, we actually have a lot more in common than you might think. In fact, when it comes to Social Security reform, Democrats, the president, and Republicans agree on a lot more than you might think. Social Security has often been called the third rail of American politics. The idea behind this reference is that just like the third rail that provides power to a train, if you touch it, you die. And despite what you might think or hear, there are major figures in both political parties that do support major change to Social Security. Joe Biden's 2020 presidential campaign included several proposals to reform the popular federal program, and some of his ideas do remain controversial. But here are some Social Security changes wanted by President Joe Biden, as well as many Republicans too. So let's get started, jump right in, and check out these changes. But before we do, as always, make sure you guys do a couple things for me. Number one, give this video a tremendous thumbs up, smash the like button, I would appreciate that. Just supports me and the channel and boosts the algorithm of this video, so that way more people are in the know and understand what is going on. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. That bell will notify you every time we do post a brand new video. And the next cash giveaway will be at 30,000 subscribers, and you'll have to be subscribed to be entered in that giveaway. With that being said, let's get started and dive right in. First area where both parties agree is they both want to increase the payroll tax cap. The fact is that Social Security is on track to become insolvent by the year of 2035. The problem is that more money is being spent on benefits than it is being received in taxes. As a result, the program's trust funds will eventually be depleted, and Biden wants to prevent this from happening. His primary proposal to avoid insolvency for Social Security is to increase the salary cap for the payroll tax funding the program. In 2023, the maximum salary that is subject to Social Security payroll taxes will be $160,200. But this is only up from $147,000 in annual income in 2022. Not much of an increase there. Biden would also want to make all annual income above $400,000 subject to this payroll tax. And according to estimates, if you were to implement this increase, that would actually eliminate 61% of the projected Social Security shortfall. That is a big difference and would certainly help. This proposal is ultra popular with Democrats. 88%, according to surveys, would back this increase, and it's also viewed favorably by Republicans as well. In fact, according to that same survey, 79% that associate themselves with the GOP would also support this idea. Coming together on this one single issue would help a lot of Social Security's problems. We wouldn't be totally out of the woods, but it would definitely help, and we would be in a much better position. Even though both parties vastly agree on raising the cap, I think the issue that we have here is that one party doesn't want to hand the other a victory. So in this case, the incumbent party right now is, of course, the Democratic Party. And so if Democrats and Republicans were to come together on this issue and we pass a landmark bill that would ultimately increase the payroll cap, I think Republicans don't want to give credit to Democrats, and Democrats are going to tout that they made this major accomplishment, and Republicans just don't want to see that happen. They don't want to hand the Democrats a victory. Second area both parties agree on is they both want to see the minimum benefit raised. Biden would like to implement a true minimum benefit for retirees who receive Social Security. During his presidential campaign, he proposed setting the minimum benefit for anyone who worked at least 30 years to 125% of the poverty level. This idea also has some solid bipartisan support. Not as popular as the first idea. You do have Democrats with a much more favorable view of this issue, 71% versus 59% of Republicans, but still, you could see both parties reach across the aisle here. Increasing the minimum benefit would be a huge win politically, and both parties could take credit for this. The downside of this proposal, though, is that it would cost Social Security money. According to estimates, if you were to raise the minimum monthly benefit for all Americans who worked at least 30 years, then that would actually increase the federal program's projected shortfall by 7%. So that would definitely not help Social Security's case, but it would help Americans in the short term. That's definitely a hairy area, right? I mean, most Americans would support it because it would provide them with more monthly cash flow, but at the same time, you don't want to hurt the program in the long term for future generations, and our children and grandchildren to come. Third area that has huge support from both sides, this is a big one, is of course changing the way how COLA is calculated. The preeminent story this year for Social Security, of course, has been the historic landmark COLA adjustment that is coming for 2023. It's the highest in decades. But there's been tremendous criticism from the American people and politicians alike of how the COLA adjustment does not necessarily reflect what seniors pay and the daily cost of living that actually comes with being a senior. Biden is one of many that wants to change that calculation method. In particular, he proposes replacing the CPIW, or Consumer Price Index, for urban wage earners and clerical workers with the CPIE, or Consumer Price Index, for the elderly. And the CPIE is designed to represent the spending of Americans ages 62 and older, and using this inflation index, that could give Social Security recipients higher COLAs. Interesting figures here when it comes to replacing the COLA metric. You would think this would be the most bipartisan, most popular program to support for both Democrats and Republicans, but only 59% of Democrats and 55% of Republicans would actually support replacing the CPIW with the CPIE. But just like the proposal to increase the minimum Social Security benefit, there is also a catch here. According to estimates, if you were to use the CPIE for COLA calculations, that would increase the projected shortfall for Social Security by 12%. We simply cannot afford to do that, so Congress and the government is going to have to figure out another way how we could change and afford this COLA increase. The fact is, Social Security needs more money, and we should not be talking about cutting the program and cutting its spending and not making it discretionary for that matter either. We need more money added to the program so that way we can afford some of these issues. Now, could these changes be implemented in 2023 if we get past the shortfalls and get past the money issues? Well, if you look at it, Democrats will be controlling the Senate and the Republicans will be controlling the House of Representatives for 2023. This means the two chambers are going to be divided by two political parties, and unfortunately, that means that legislation will probably not get passed. In fact, we're probably going to be in major gridlock for the next couple years until the Congress changes. But these Social Security changes do have bipartisan support, so it is still possible that we could see these changes made, especially when a lot of these politicians were elected because of their senior constituency. Another main challenge is that any Social Security reform bill that's curated by one side is going to include a lot of components that aren't as seen as favorable by the other side. There's going to be a lot of other stuff in the bill that would have to be taken out to get the other side on board. So even if we do see a finalized bill, a finalized proposal that includes these three major Social Security reforms with bipartisan support, there could be a lot of other fluff in there that the other side doesn't like. So could 2023 be the year that we see one, two, or all three of these changes made to Social Security? It's possible. Joe Biden would have to really reach across the aisle and garner a lot of support from the other side, and problem is he's going to be in campaign mode for the next 2 years until 2024. Trying to get reelected as president. The only thing you guys could do right now is stay loud and don't back down. Keep contacting your representatives, keep contacting your senators, make your voices heard, and keep the message going. We'll have more videos and developments for you guys, especially as the COLA boost is implemented and in effect come January of 2023. Hope you understood this video. Hopefully this clarified some things for you. Give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button. I would appreciate that. Share with a friend, get the word out, spread it on social media. If you want to get some free stocks, all on me, all free, make sure you go ahead and use the brokerage links down below in the description of this video. Sign up with the brokerage platforms, Robinhood and or Webull. You'll get some free stocks, some valued up to thousands of dollars in some cases. Make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. I would appreciate that. And if you want to connect me on social media, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. All the social links are down below in the description. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care for now.